You also voiced one of my favorite characters of all time, which is Kazuma Kuwabara in YuYu Hakusho.
He has a sword.
What was your experience of working on that show? Because it wasn't as big as Dragon Ball Z, but it was along the similar shonen lines as DBZ.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty easy transition from one to the next. And the beautiful thing about Dragon Ball Z is that Justin Cook, the director of that show, who still is at Funimation, and he's one of the head producers out there, loved and still loves that show. So working with him was like working with a huge fan of the series as well. And we get to experience a lot doing it because Justin was still learning how to direct, and I don't know, I loved that show though. The show was really, really different than Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z wasn't necessarily as deep as Yu Yu Hakusho was.
It also didn't have as much of a long passing of time during the fights, like where Frieza would take like 20 minutes to like just charge up one attack.
And 17 episodes for 5 minutes on Namek.
Yeah. But it did get its point across, which was really cool, and I feel it was a very underrated series, especially in Australia.
I think that it was underrated as far as viewership on maybe television is concerned, but it has a lot of fan service. Like a lot of people love Yu Yu Hakusho. It's one of the Yu Yu Hakusho and Fruits Basket are the two shows that come up a lot, and they're really, really, like, we worked on those a long time ago, but they were really good shows. I loved Kuwabara too because he was more like my personality, because he's just kind of stupid and just luckily happened to be talented too. So
get where he needs to go.
Yeah.
So what was the experience in doing One Piece, as far as you didn't start from the start with that? You guys started at the very start of the Skypiea arc, which was basically when 4 kids lost the rights and Funimation picked it up. How is that different than starting from, say, the first episode of a series?
Well, I imagine it's difficult. I, again, had a unique opportunity because there was a time before 4 Kids got One Piece that Funimation was looking at One Piece, and they even recorded some test episodes.
Wow.
And when I thought that Funimation was going to pick up One Piece, I started watching the show and reading the manga, and I really, really liked it. But I think, and I wasn't involved in any of the meetings. I had no decision-making power whatsoever at Funimation. But I believe that at the time they passed on One Piece because they saw so much repeatable violence in it, and they thought, this is never going to get on TV. I mean, we can't have a show that has a child that can be shot with bullets that bounce right off of him, because you don't necessarily want kids, you know, running home and shooting their friends with bullets to see if they'll bounce off. Sure. So I did have an opportunity to kind of work on some of the earlier episodes, so I kind of knew what was happening. Yeah. It was an entirely unusual experience for me all around too, because the same thing happened for us on Dragon Ball. Yeah, true. If you remember, in Dragon Ball Z, we started around episode 68 of the Z series, and then had to double back when we were finished with that. Yeah. So, I don't know, old hat for me, man. So.
Fantastic.
Now, a couple of smaller roles you did. You played Kasanoda in Oran High School Host Club, and one of my favorites is Rome in Hitalia.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like a 5-minute series, but like each episode's like 5 minutes. But seriously, it's one of the funniest series I've ever seen, and Rome has got to be one of the funniest characters.
I love how he just shows up and then disappears. Like, you just know he shows up, he sings, and then he's gone.
And then everyone runs away.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it happens a few times, and every time it's like nothing changes except for like the song.
They picked on me to do that role, or they picked me to do it, and I guess were thus picking on me because I was an opera major at school. I went to school at University of North Texas as a vocal performance major, and then realized that was just absolutely not what I wanted to do at all. I was like, wow, this is a bad decision on my part. So yeah, they called me in to do that. I like it. I wish he was in the show more often, because it's one of those it's one of those things that people just love you for, and you're like, wow, I worked on this for about 6 hours total.
Good cast in a couple of singing roles. Like with One Piece, you have the songs like Family and stuff like that. And in later episodes, I don't know how far you guys are in as far as recording, but in one of the later arcs, the Ines Lobby arc, there's a redo of the first opening that the crew sings.
I've heard about this.
Yeah.
And Mike was telling me something about this. I don't know. I think his intention is to do it, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll
Are there
cross
any-
that bridge when we float over it.
Yeah, are there any float over it? I get it.
Yeah,
Are there any plans to release full versions of, say, Family, and if you guys do that recording of We Are?
That would definitely be a Mike McFarlane / Funimation question,
Yeah.
because I play video games and I just forget a lot of things.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can
So-
understand that. Video games do that to you.
Yeah, they do.
Now, the iconic role, Dragon Ball Z. You've played so many characters in Dragon Ball Z. In fact, Critter will name them because I can't even name them all.
Piccolo, Vegeta, Yamcha, Shenron, Korin, Kami, Raccoon, Jace, Berta, Zarbon, and I'm missing one, I think.
You're missing a few others.
I'm missing a few others, but they're the main ones.
Yeah, Raccoon, Jace, Zarbon, Birder, yeah, Yamcha, Mr. Popo, Turtle, Icarus, all the dragons.
Yeah.
And there's always ones I forget.
You're half the cast.
Now, and I've explained this on many occasions. I did not cast myself as those original people.
Yeah.
I was casting the show.
Yeah.
But the producer was making the decisions, and the reason why I got those is because when Funimation first started, they were a really small company, and they were dubbing a show that had 1 billion episodes.
Yeah.
That required a lot of time, and they couldn't afford to pay agencies the money that would take to bring in really expensive people to do it.
Yeah.
So I was born, as you can tell, with this crazy low. You can't tell that I was born with it, but I have been blessed with this very deep voice.
Yeah.
So whenever there was a character that needed a deep voice or something, I got it. Because there were like 11 or 12 people on our cast list at the time, and so it was very easy to have to recycle. And I guess 5 or 8 of those 11 were women.
Yeah.
So if I couldn't do it, if Sonny Strait couldn't do it, or Sean Schimmel couldn't do it, or Phil Parsons couldn't do it, then I guess I did it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it worked.
Fair enough.
Now, my favorite character in that series was Vegeta.
Mine too.
And I just loved how he was an anti-hero, but he started off as a villain, then he kind of went to the anti-hero, then became full-fledged hero, then villain again, and then back to anti-hero. And it was just kept flip-flopping. What was your favorite part of being Vegeta?
Wow. Let's see. I really did love everything he did during kind of the Babidi arc, the whole Majin Vegeta and this fight with Goku, sacrificing himself to fight Majin Buu. That was pretty awesome for me. Like, the first moment that really got me in the series was when Frieza beat the crap out of him and killed him. That was a hard scene to do, but his conversation with his son during the Majin Buu arc is awesome to me. I think that's the best of all of Dragon Ball. I really do think that's where Dragon Ball Z peaks.
Yeah.
The Android Saga is my favorite saga as far as all the characters are concerned, because it brings in Trunks, but I think that's like that Majin Buu moment is probably the best it got, in my opinion.
Well, with a peak moment like that, I think we might end on a peak. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome. You guys are going to be here all weekend, right?
We are,
Yep,
of course, going to be here all weekend.
And when does this air? Or is this airing right now?
This will be airing. This is airing right now. Not right now, but when people are watching it, it will be airing right now. If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The power of the internet.
Yeah.
We haven't discovered that.
Internetception.
We're still using Fire and
Whoa,
stuff like that to do things.
my mind just blew up. It's like
We do
crazy.
that.
I need some more Picari sweat.
Picari sweat. Endorsed by
It's
Chris
extra
Sabat.
Picari. Salty yet delicious. All right, I'm going to stop there.
Fair enough. That's been Chris Sabat, and this has been ANIMEBALL Z, and we will catch you
you
guys on the flip side.
ANIMEBALL ANIMEBALL Z.
I like this. Where's the? Do you have a
that
white
would be the
erase
asshole.
marker?
Yes.
Was that not for us?
No, it
Was it not?
across
Okay.
the hall.
I was getting visitors as well. Maybe I should join that party.
Right.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was Couch.
All 3 cameras now recording.
Fantastic.
Ah, excellent.
I love it.
All right. Take 1.
Christopher Sabat's balls. Take 1.
When you're ready, guys.
All right.